With this memory board data, another phase of my memory restoration is complete. You can now craft an air tank. You've prepared an air tank. You can now enter the dust.
Having crafted an air tank, you can now operate within the dust.
Partial memory restoration complete. I've also reassembled fragmented data.
With this data recovery, you can now use the skill trainer. By using the power of Kuban energy to strengthen your body, you can...
I detect a memory board within the dust.
Begin your search.
Entered the dust. It really is like a sea of dust in there, given how thick it is. The visibility isn't good, but try to remain calm as you go about your search.
Your oxygen will decrease while you're in the dust. Always keep an eye on your oxygen gauge. One other important point. While in the dust, your stamina consumption is greater than normal, so be careful of that as well.
That memory board is nearby. Go secure it. I'd say you're getting the hang of this routine. Pay attention to your stamina. You should rest before you're out of access the memory board and secure its data. Data acquired from memory board. I will analyze it. Return to base camp.
It has been 10 days since we lost pretty much all communications with headquarters. We
There
have no
are two
timetable
ways
for the
to open
necessary
a
repairs,
container.
so on my authority,
You can
the
spend
Karen
time
Corps
carefully
is
opening
continuing
it
its
so you
research.
don't alert nearby
Unfortunately,
enemies.
there is data we need from
Or you can
headquarters,
open it
which
quickly,
means our
though
research has
any
basically
enemies
come
that
to
are
a
within
standstill.
earshot will hear
At any
you.
rate, I suppose I
In
should
other
record the
words,
latest
you can
developments in our
unlock it,
investigation.
or you can destroy it.
First, we detected a
We'll leave
response
that
to
decision
Kuban
to
energy
you,
from
Captain.
the dust around the base camp. If we can continue our research, we may be able to harvest Kuban energy from it. It has been 10 days since we lost pretty much all communications with headquarters. We have no timetable for the necessary repairs, so on my authority, the Karen Corps is continuing its research. Unfortunately, there is data we need from headquarters, which means our research has basically come to a standstill. At any rate, I suppose I should record the latest developments in our investigation. First, we detected a response to Kuban energy from the dust around the base camp. If we can continue our research, we may be able to harvest Kuban energy from it. We have also found areas rich in Kuban crystals, so our efforts to harvest Kuban energy, as well as increase production of devices that utilize it, look promising. We should be able to obtain all we need that way. As for the Wanderers, our current concern is their relationship with the dust. Since we've detected Kuban energy within both of them, there definitely seems to be some sort of connection. When humans who have become Wanderers absorb the dust, perhaps the Kuban energy therein crystallizes within their bodies. We'll need to study this possibility in more detail. At any rate, we finally found a much more effective way of obtaining Kuban energy than directly harvesting it from the Wanderers. This is a major advance. While the proposed devices that utilize Kuban energy have their uses, the wormhole transporter is the one that fascinates me the most. A functioning transporter would greatly expand the scope and reach of our research team. We also need to
clear of the
accelerate
dust.
our deployment of the skilled trainer,
Since
which
you
has
are
been
no longer
stuck in the
in it,
inspection phase.
you are no longer on
But I still
oxygen.
do not understand how Goodluck ever
And
conceived
don't
such
worry,
devices.
your
The
oxygen
ability
supply
to
will be
instantly
replenished
transport matter
automatically
or
when you
physically
return to
enhance the
base
human
camp.
body. That sounds like science fiction. Furthermore, they were both developed in such a short time, despite the fact that they use Kuban energy, an energy source we know almost nothing about. I am beginning to wonder, will I ever be able to match his talent?
Tragedy struck our team. There was nothing that could be done. A man was badly injured after being attacked by wanderers out in the dust. However, the air tanks of the other members were depleted and they had no choice but to return to base. Even worse, we're unable to contact HQ at this time, so there's even more confusion than usual around here. This won't be the last of the casualties if we continue with our mission. The mission and that secret task that I was assigned. Capture a wanderer and return it to our world. Is that really something we should even consider? taking one of those things back with us? There's so many of them. Probably more than we can even count. We've got no idea how they reproduce either. If left unchecked, they could just keep on spawning for eternity. Aside from that, there's something else that keeps me up at night. I really don't know how to say it, so here it is. I saw some kind of giant creature. It happened when I was out on patrol. I came across it completely by chance. This thing was so big and terrifying that it made all of these other creatures look harmless in comparison. The wormhole has brought all kinds of things to D-Day. I imagine this thing is no different. Whatever the case, if it ever decides to attack us, there's not much we can do. I quickly returned to base camp and reported the matter to my captain. Then I took a group of men and led them to where I saw the creature. However, it was nowhere to be found. My captain said that my visibility was reduced by the dust and it must have been a rock or a mountain or something. But I know what I saw. It's out there somewhere. And I know it's only a matter of time before it attacks. At any rate, we need Chloe to get that device up and running ASAP. If what they say is true, it will at least make things somewhat easier for the squad.
Time to analyze the data.
Please synchronize your iDroid with me here. Captain, there is one item to report. Regarding the latest recovery,
Hang on a minute, you mind? There's something I've been thinking about. The body of that Charon Corps member. The one you got the damaged air tank from. He'd been shot. Needless to say, we haven't seen any wanderers with guns. Meaning, he had to have been killed by a person. Right? What's that all about?
That is unclear. All we can say is that if people are killing each other here, that is an illogical thing to do.
My point is, these incidents don't make sense. If my theory is correct... forget it. Sorry for butting in. Continue with what you were gonna say.
getting back to the report, Captain. The data you recovered revealed the location of a wormhole transporter. Wormhole transporters are devices utilizing wormhole technology, which enable instant transportation between two distant points.
2 points. So we can use this thing to get home?
Unfortunately, the wormhole we can generate with this device is structurally different from the one needed to return home. Therefore, it can only be used for transporting matter within this world. Nevertheless, this device should allow us to explore a much greater area than before, while maintaining base camp as our base of operations.
Currently, all devices are offline. To use them, you'll need to access them directly and restart their systems. Despite the potential danger, we should bring these devices back online in order to increase our area of operations. Wormhole transporters allow you to travel a great distance in the blink of an eye. To facilitate future exploration, I suggest you reactivate this one.
I took the liberty of marking its predicted location on the map. Open your iDroid to see where this is.
deactivate the wormhole transporter. The transporter coming back online will attract the enemy's attention, so stay alert.
Our apologies. With our memory loss, we were a little slow off the mark in informing you of this. Before you activate the transporter, be sure you're ready to defend it.
Enemy has been drawn to the energy surge. Defend the transporter until the reactivation process is complete. Objective complete. Please return at once.
With the transporter reactivated, you can now move more quickly and safely. Should you discover other transporters during your searches, I recommend reactivating them as well.
Teleportation of matter. Who'd have thought this kind of technology exists? But Now that I've seen this, I know I'm right.
Right about what?
How a group like the Charon Corps, who were this advanced, got wiped out. It wasn't Wanderers. It was people. Though whether it was some kind of internal conflict or an outside force, I don't know.
That is illogical. As we discussed before, in an environment such as Ditae's, there can be no advantage to humans working against one another.
After all, you and the captain were technically members of opposing forces. Yet here you are working together.
Yeah, well, people don't always do the smart thing. And I make no promises I won't shoot the captain in the back if I have to. Look, you just watch out. If we do come across survivors here, do not let your guard down. Same goes with me.
I detect a large mass within the wormhole. Object form analyzed. It's a military helicopter. Control has been lost. At this rate, it will crash. I've marked the presumed crash site on the map.
You might come across some supplies or even survivors. Why don't you go take a look?
Captain, go and investigate the helicopter crash site.
Wait, I'm against that. Say we're going to scavenge supplies. We should scope it out for a while before moving in, right?
Your proposal is extremely illogical. Taking into account crash trajectory, fuselage damage level, and other factors, the chances of survival currently stand at approximately 11.2%. This will decrease by 3% every hour. The sooner we check for survivors, the better.
Survivors are the problem. You feel like having this conversation again?
But securing personnel will be essential to completing the mission.
Well, I guess that's that. You're the captain. It's your call.
I have updated the situation report.
It's not that you don't raise a valid point, Mr. Reeve, but this is part of the mission. You should go and investigate the crash site.
gas. Multiple wanderers. Approach with caution.
Just a moment. There is a vehicle near the helicopter. It appears to be an ambulance. It seems as though they've arrived here from the same location. Also, from the equipment of the helicopter's passengers, he determined their affiliation. They were soldiers with XOM.
Target safety as well.
Thank you. That helped.
What's your name?
Miranda. Oh. Yeah. I remember. It was just like any other night. I was out on a call with the doctor when we lost contact with the hospital. We drove back as fast as we could, but the hospital was on fire. And if that wasn't hard enough to believe, a moment later, there was a light in the sky. It sucked our ambulance into it with us in it. Somehow, we survived, but then the doctor started acting strangely. Saying it out loud, it all sounds so ridiculous. Like any of that actually happened, right?
No, what you experienced actually happened. I saw the same thing in the sky. And I was here, just like you.
Where is here?
They call it Dite. To put it simply, it's a world in another dimension. A world destroyed by some unknown parasite.
Wait, unknown parasite? So when the doctor looked different and attacked me after we got here...
Yeah. We call humans that get infected by it wanderers.
And there's no cure?
Apparently not. Once you end up like that, you're just a living corpse. Only thing you can do for him is kill him. That goes for your friends, too.
You're sure about that? You guys don't look like doctors to me. Maybe a team of specialists could...
If anyone could have done something about this place would still be standing, wouldn't it?
Maybe they just lack certain advances in medicine. And like you said, they're still living. Perhaps if we try to communicate with them, with a little persistence, we can get through to them.
Look, your ridiculous theories are an insult to every one of them we've had to put down. Trying to take some moral high ground will do jack squat for you here. If you want to stay alive, keep quiet and do what we tell you.
Without morals, we're no different from them. Take off your shirt.
What?
You're injured, aren't you? Your breathing is off. You might have a fractured rib. I should take a look at you. What are you waiting for? If you want to stay alive, keep quiet and do what I tell you.
To make effective use of our labor source, you should assign crew members to units. Come and assign crew members here. Assigning crew members to units will ensure base camp runs more smoothly. Assign crew members as the situation warrants.
Captain, there is one item to report. When we scanned the area around the location where you rescued that woman, we detected a new memory board.
We've added this information to the situation report.